AITA for vetoing my ex and former best friend's request to take my kids out of state for a week as part of her healing process from infertility. I have two children under 12 with my ex-husband. We divorced 5 years ago after I discovered he and my former best friend were having an affair. Both of them tried to apologize, asking me not to let it ruin everything, but the damage had already been done. I no longer care about either of them, but for my kids' sake, I remain civil. I've never badmouthed them to my kids or told them what happened. The divorce was already hard on them, and I never wanted to add to their pain. They still struggle with adjustment issues and are in therapy. It hasn't helped that my former best friend, now my ex's wife, has tried to maintain some semblance of a friendly relationship despite her betrayal. Nor has it been easy for my kids to go from living with their parents to their dad living with the person who tore their family apart. Still, I put my kids first. I love them more than I hate those two people, and that's why I've worked so hard to stay civil in front of my kids. My ex and his wife have been trying to have children together for years, but have suffered repeated miscarriages. In December, she had her 10th miscarriage, which required emergency surgery and left her unable to have children. My ex called me to tell me this and asked me to bring the kids to the hospital to sit with them until she was discharged. It was my parenting time, so I told him no. I wasn't going to have my kids sit in a hospital waiting room for days. He insisted, saying he'd get the kids to ask me themselves, but I stood firm. He stopped contacting me after that and didn't take the kids for his parenting time that week. His mother later told me he refused to leave the hospital. When he finally saw the kids again during his next scheduled week, he was furious. He accused me of keeping the kids from supporting them during a time of need. I reminded him that it's not the kids' job to be emotional support for them, especially in such a traumatic setting. Now there's a new issue. My ex booked a healing getaway for them, and he wants the kids to come along. The problem is that the trip falls during my parenting week in a school week. He also wants to keep his normal parenting time before and after, which would mean the kids would be with him for 3 consecutive weeks. He told me that the kids' presence would help his wife grieve and heal. He even said he might pull them out of school for the duration of the trip. I said no. I told him I wasn't giving up my week for this trip and that the kids are not emotional support animals. I pointed out that missing school for a week isn't appropriate, and therapy would be far more effective for helping his wife recover. He brought up the week he missed in December, saying I should make it up to him. However, our court-ordered parenting plan explicitly states that if a parent voluntarily gives up their week without a mutually agreed makeup period, the other parent isn't obligated to make it up. When I pointed this out, he accused me of being too by the book and lacking human decency. He argued that family is more important than school and asked how I'd feel if his wife harmed herself, and my refusal contributed to it. I told him I wouldn't feel anything. I reminded him that they forfeited their right to my sympathy when they betrayed me. I refused to be manipulated into agreeing.